Hello and welcome to the final episode of season 2 of the Pet Photographers Club.
Final episode of the year.
And of the year
2018.
Thanks for sticking by us. You're with Kirstie of Bitsa Photography.
And I'm Caitlin of Ragamuffin Photography.
And today,
there's a people. Oh wait, I don't know if you guys can see that little nose. Oh, speaking of seeing, if you're listening to this because you're on iTunes or something like that, this is also a video episode, so we'll have this on the website. You can watch it on the website. If you want to watch our faces, probably don't. Maybe stick to the audio. But yeah, it is a video episode as well for members and listeners and everyone and all of that jazz. So just a heads up.
Today we decided that we would bring to you our 18
and 2018.
Yeah.
Things that we've learned or changed, implemented in our businesses, basically. So we've got our little
So let's kick off. You can start, Caitlin.
So my number one is, I mean, these aren't in a particular order, but what I've got first is not selling unframed prints. So this is a big one that I've changed this year, and it's made a hefty impact to my profit and my sales. So basically before I used to have the option to have unframed prints or sorry if you can hear the dogs playing, but pet photographers. Or you can have canvas or frame prints, that sort of thing. And then after our interview with Andrew Helmich in season 1, episode 8, and he just threw into conversation that he doesn't have unframed prints on his price list, and that was like mind-blowing moment for me. And I was like, oh, you can just not sell those, because I hate selling unfinished artwork. But it just never occurred to me that I could do them. So I was nervous about taking them off. At first I just took them off but still had them as an option. And then I sort of had like this epiphany moment where I was like, it's my business. I don't want to sell unfinished artwork. So I just stopped doing it. And like every now and then I'll have someone come in who asks like, oh, can I get this unframed? I mean, the answer would either be yes, but it's the same price, or just, no, I don't sell unfinished artwork. And it's fantastic. So it's really done away with those frustrating smaller sales that are just like a handful of small unframed prints. So I don't sell these anymore. I was selling these. Now they do come in packages still. And that's the only way that people can get them.
But do you sell these sizes framed, or you just have only for the wall?
I sell these sizes, this size framed.
Okay, cool.
You can get an 8x12 framed. And I feel better that I'm handing over something that can immediately go up on their walls. It feels like it's worth the price. I don't know. I'm very happy about it, so that's my number one.
I've changed the wording with my wall art now. Both of our supplier has started offering framed canvases, and they're beautiful. And I want everyone to have them when I sell a canvas or a frame. If it's the same size, it's the same price.
Yeah.
But the canvas that's framed is way more expensive from the lab, so I don't have it on my price list, but I tell them that, oh, if you want, this is how I say it now, say you can have a frame or a canvas for this much. If you want frame and canvas combined, then it's this
That's
much.
a good way to explain that.
Yeah, I said, well, then you're getting both, so then it's the 20% surcharge. But I also say, if they're thinking about, if they just say I want a canvas, I also call it like
Unfinished.
No, I call it naked. Do you want this naked canvas? Or
I'm stealing that.
yeah, do you want this naked canvas, or do you want this beautiful finished framed canvas? And then people are like, well, I don't want a naked canvas. Like, I want a finished product, and because I'm using the word finished framed canvas.
Yeah.
People love them.
I like the name naked canvas.
Yeah. But this naked canvas, like, why the hell would you want a naked canvas?
Yeah.
And I mean, I used to sell tons of them. So,
I would sell naked canvases if it was a multi-canvas display, because I think
they look
framed.
Yeah, I agree.
So my second one is running profitable competitions. So if you follow Ragamuffin, you might have seen that I'm doing a monthly Ragamuffin of the Month competition. I got that idea completely, stole it from, well, I didn't steal it. I like read through did Kirstie's course.
Are you seeing a recurring theme here?
What?
Caitlin, like, I'm gonna steal your naked.
Just stealing all these things.
To be fair, I do.
Like, you've never done that.
I do.
Like Gippsland.
But also, I like message Caitlin that I was like, hey, you know that flow you're using from Facebook Messenger? Can you send that to me?
It's good. It's good. I like it.
Go on.
Anyway, so if you haven't already, genuinely highly recommend checking out Kirstie's Dogs Through the Door competition thing, dog of the year thing. So you're running your dog of the year competition at the moment.
Oh, so many entries, but yes, I am.
Yes. So Kirstie had a whole way to do that, and I basically combined the Facebook Messenger automation course that I did with Ian Sim, and that course and that Kirstie has teaching you how to run profitable competitions, and made my Ragamuffin of the Month competition, which has been a fantastic way to bring in inquiries and bring in bookings from people who are pre-qualified because they already know my client. And bonus, my clients really, really love the competition. They get so into it. I now have new clients being like, oh my God, it's gonna be next month's competition, and how can they win? Or so it's like a whole voting thing. And yeah, it's really good. So I love that.
Thing that I like about
I mean, I have to pay for the prize, I guess, that they win.
Yeah.
But which I do, like a tote bag and a greeting card, and they get a $50 donation to a charity of their choice, which therefore makes it a fundraising competition, and you know how much I love fundraising marketing, so that's a great little extra thing. And then at the end of the year, all the winners were in a calendar.
Yeah.
So
I think it's cool how you combine like all of those things that you love all into the one.
Yeah. And the calendar was 100% fundraising too.
Yeah.
So yeah.
There's a combo, by the way, of my course and Ian's course. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you want to do it, then that's the cheapest way to get both of them. I do an annual one, and I get 30 clients out of that.
Yeah,
Well,
so
last year I got 30.
Yeah.
And this year I haven't looked at the stats so far, but I'm running it at the moment, and I think I've had about 50 votes, and it's been going 2 days or something, and it'll go to Christmas Eve, so a week more. Oh my God, it's Christmas now.
I know. I love Christmas, in case you can't tell.
Yeah. So after however many years, I've finally decided increasing your pricing is never going to be the reason people don't book. I mean, I always increase my pricing. Every 6 months, there's like a slight increase. And every time in my head, I'm like, will people still pay this? And now I've got to a point where I'm like, they always pay it. And it's never the real reason they don't book. No. If they're not going to book you at $1,000, like at $2,000, they're probably not going to book you at $1,000.
No one's making the decision based on how much your 20 by 30 inches.
That's right.
Are you shoot and burn, or are you not shooting? Those are the two categories.
Yeah.
Whether or not your 20 by 30 is $800 or $900 or like whatever pricing.
Anyway, so if anyone is like ready for a price increase, but you're waiting or you're scared because you think it's going to stop bookings, if your bookings decrease, trust me, that's not the reason. So do it.
Yeah, if you need to do it.
If you're ready to do it.
Yeah. My next one, what did I pick? Automating gift vouchers. So we did do a deep dive on gift vouchers in a members only deep dive. So if you're not a member yet, join the club, petphotographersclub.com/join. It's only $10 a month, and you get all our extra deep dive content. So that's my little cheeky plug. Anyway, no, I love the club. I always tell people to join our club. I think it's awesome.
Even our own brother.
Yeah, my brother meeting up with you, and I was like, well, obviously you know all about who Kirstie is because you are big fans of the Pet Photographers Club and you listen to us every week. Anyway, I'm a dog. So my next one is automating gift vouchers. So yeah, if you missed that episode, I believe it's season 2, episode 10.
Good memory.
I think we were chatting about gift vouchers, and I was saying how I was pretty keen to start automating them because, as you know, I am obsessed with all things automation. If there's anything that can save me time so I can focus on the more creative aspects of my business or just focus on life. So any admin stuff, if I can save time there, I'm happy. And so I recently changed my gift vouchers so that they're through Acuity. So I'm doing a lot of my things through Acuity now. Which is online scheduling.
Yeah.
So I've changed that, which now means that they get their gift vouchers emailed automatically, and they have like a gift voucher code and all of that. So it's just more of a flow. And I also implemented that thing that you were talking about in the episode that we had about registering your gift vouchers. So the combination of both of those means I'm way, way happier with how my gift vouchers are going now. So
awesome.
It's a change for me.
Cool. One good one that I can definitely do is you can make any client space work. So I've worked in a lot of client spaces. I'm always moving. I don't know what.
It's so the opposite of me.
I know.
Like, I can't stay here for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I can't stay still. And big believer that if you're not happy with something, change it. So I do. I change it. And then I was probably fine before actually. I worked from my mum's bungalow, worked from my clients' homes. Then I rented an office in the middle of the CBD in Adelaide. I moved out of there because I could work from home. Then I moved out of that house. I had a co-working space. To now I work by a dog bakery. So I don't know how many I just rattled off, but a lot. Every time I'm in a space, I'm like, oh, and I always find something wrong with it. Like, this isn't perfect because, and I want to do something better. So
I think it's so easy to get bogged down in, like you're talking about client space, but it's the same theory with, for example, wanting to upgrade your gear.
Gear is always a big one.
Is it actually going to affect your sales, or do you just want to do this for you? And if you just want to do it for you, that's also fine.
Yeah.
But like, recognize that buying that new lens, if it's not something that's going to be affecting your sales, it's not affecting your sessions, for example, then you're doing that. I mean, technically it's for the business, but really it's
for you
as a photographer,
but
which is fine.
And we had a chat about that when we did the deep dive into what's in our camera bag, I think. Because I never upgrade my gear ever.
Season 2, episode 8.
She's really good with that. I never
Watch them not be that at all. I'm just listing numbers because I know you
We'll put them in the
notes.
notes. Yeah, we'll put them in the notes. So you can just have a look there. But yeah, so that's been a big one for me to actually, because I've always been like looking for the better space.
Next stuff,
and now I'm like, you don't need a new space. You know, I mean, I'm still looking for one, and if I see the perfect space, I will move to it. But I'm not in a hurry. I'm content with like, okay, it doesn't make a difference. So you can make whatever space you're in work.
So this isn't pet photography related-ish, but I'm just doing like the 18 big things that I changed this year. 20, God. Imagine if we're still doing this when it's 2020. Ooh, let's.
Guys, I'm committed to you, but
I commit to me, I'm the work wife. I want you for the next 10 years.
I can't even commit to a client space. I'm gonna commit to 2020 doing this with you.
So my next one, just big thing that I changed was, it has been on my bucket list for years and years. I wanted to be a certified dog trainer, and just something that I guess I'm like interested in personally, and I did think it would have an impact on pet photography, which I was correct, it did. So that's something that I got, you may or may not know this year, but I got my certification as a dog trainer. Yay. And you may or may not be able to guess that, judged on how naughty my little rat dog is crying over there.
No,
but
she's been so good.
She is, my little maple bear has improved so much since I got that, but that was like a big mission this year, and it was cool because I always have my goals for the year written out big in my office, so I got to tick that off, so that was a really cool.
I did go through last night and I was like, hey, look, tick, 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 tick.
Yeah, it's cool. At the end of the year, I'll like properly tick them off and stuff.
I just drew in the chalk with my finger.
Yeah, so that was one of the things I did.
Awesome. Well, one of the things I did to go with a personal one then would be my trip. This year I was away for 3.5 months. Yeah, but the cool thing about that is that my business allowed me to do that. And I'm a really big believer that why are you in business if it doesn't work for your lifestyle? And that doesn't mean you have to travel. It could be that you have a beautiful home like Caitlin, something I do not have.
But travel's not high on my priority list, but
your
where I live is
yeah.
high on my priority list.
Yeah, and so whatever it is that's your dreams, personally, the business should be able to make that happen. And I don't just mean financially, but time-wise as well, and every other aspect too. So like Caitlin, she likes to be able to work, finish off at 3 o'clock, is that correct?
Change my business to
Exactly.
allow for that.
Yeah, whereas before, I remember Caitlin didn't care if she was working at midnight.
No,
She didn't
that
have
was
it.
it was sad.
Yeah.
Well, that's another thing that I was thinking about when you mentioned that was going to be your point, was also striving to build a business so that, because everything relies on us, striving to put in as many things in place so that the whole thing doesn't fall apart if you need to take off time, and that's just whether or not that's traveling, or like for me, when it was my business didn't fall apart, my clients weren't aware that I essentially took 4 months off when my previous relationship broke down. But I just think it's so important to be striving to build a business so that you can take a step away if you need to, or if you want to, without it crumbling.
Yeah. And I think that's I think that's a goal that everyone should be aiming towards, to be like, I want to get to the point that if something happens to me, or if I want to take time off, or if I plan to take time off, I can, and it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
That's totally. So, I mean, my trip was awesome, but the whole link to the business is that the business allowed me to go on that trip.
Facebook Messenger marketing, Facebook Messenger automation. So that was a big one that I've implemented. Again, love a bit of automation, and combining that with the competition thing that I already mentioned. So that episode, if you want to check it out, it's season 2, episode 11 with Ian Sim.
Who we're about to go.
We're about to go. Shout out to Ian if you're listening to this.
Yeah.
But so Ian's great. He's really made Facebook Messenger automation, which can be really overwhelming when you first try to implement it into your business. He's made that really accessible for photographers. So if you're interested in bringing it in, definitely have a listen to that episode. Check out Ian. Nice chat, let's book. Anyway, so I've loved having that. It's just a really way, I've implemented it with the competition, I've implemented it with other things. Basically anytime where I'm like, I'm gonna have an influx of messages for whatever reason, and I want to be able to respond to those clients really quickly, give them a good experience with me, give them a quick service, quick turnaround. Everyone expects instant replies these days, and frankly I can't give that to them personally, but with Facebook Messenger automation I can. And the thing with these messenger bots is you can like interrupt it, I guess is the way to say it. So at any point, if someone has a question that isn't answered by the bot, like there's still the human on the other end, and like I'm reading it,
still see it.
I'm seeing it come through. It's not like they're just chatting to a robot.
Awesome. I have on my list. Oh god, I don't even know my password now.
I assume it's Caitlin.
Of course it is. Oh, of course. Big one that I've done this year. I've separated my business, so, well, on the surface only at this point actually. So my dog, well, all my pet photography and horses were always photographed under Bitsa Bernard Pet Photography. But I've been trying to increase the number of horse shoots that I do per year, and do increase dogs a little bit. But to really be able to market horses, I couldn't have a dog brand, which is what Bitsa Bernard was set up for. Yeah, so that was a good one for me.
Okay, so number 11 for me is I published Tales of Adoption.
It's my thickest book so far, and I love how thick it is.
So thick, I love it. So yeah, this is my 3rd book published in the Tales series. If you guys don't know about that, you can head over to talesoftheworld.com, and it's got all the information there. But basically, I'm a big advocate for self-publishing strategy for photographers. I have I'm sure you guys know about it. So I have the program, and so exciting. So a lot of the students who signed up at the beginning, you can still sign up, and now they're like releasing their book registrations and stuff, and it's just really exciting to see it working for other people. So I'm like really loving that. I'm like keep messaging Ben every time someone's like, oh, I have another person sign up, or I just had my first shoot and stuff. I'm like, oh, they're doing it. Anyway, but this is my book, so these are all going out at the moment, and it's just all about rescued animals and their stories, and I'm really, really proud of it.
I had to close it last night because I was going to start crying at Caitlin's story.
Yeah, one of Ben's like very guy friends was over here, and like very masculine, and he was over here just like reading it while he watched cricket, and he started like full crying.
That was going to be me. That's what
I was like, oh, you're so cute. Stop reading the book.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, that's a big thing for me. A great way to get lots of new clients in.
Also midway through launching my current book, which is Kids and Dogs, which is not as hard as actually I was anticipating.
Yeah.
It's actually been so much fun. But that's also based off Caitlin's strategy. And so far all my sales have been at least my typical average sale, if not higher.
Yeah.
They've been really good. So yeah. Recommend it, guys.
Jump on it. It's a good way to raise funds for a charity, good way to bring in new clients, good way to increase your business, good way to make sales.
Something that I've done after listening to Caitlin tell me for about 5 years to do this year was I really started selling digital. I've always had it on my price list, and I pretty much used to talk people. Maple. Can you guys hear Maple in the background? Probably.
You're so cute though.
So I've used to kind of almost talk people out of buying them, out of buying digitals. Because I wanted the artwork on the wall, and I thought, you know, when people come in their houses, I wanted to be like, who did that? And I get the referrals, and I wanted to only sell the finished product and all of this stuff. And then I realized, give the people what the people want.
Yeah.
That's what I've done, and I'm way more comfortable with them. Actually, I love selling them now. Caitlin was packaging last night, and I was like, oh, this is why digital's so good. There's no packaging.
Yeah.
Or hardly.
Well, there is for me because most of my digitals are sold in packages with artwork.
Yeah.
Because that sort of is the best of both worlds situation there.
Yeah.
Then you have something that's up on their walls, feels like it's a completed service that you're giving them, but they get the digitals which they want. So 11, 12. Number 13 for me is I implemented the online gallery deposit. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, we talked about this in a deep dive, season 2, episode 6. So essentially, when I do something like a book project or I have my pocket sessions, any time when I will be offering online galleries, what I now have is the $100 deposit that I take up front, and what that has stopped is no sales for online. So that's quick and easy. I won't dive right into that because we've done the whole deep dive, but that was a big change for me.
Good one. A quick one for me is that I changed my section fee structure. So yeah, well, I don't know the episode number, do you?
It would be episode 4, season 2, episode 4.
What the hell is wrong with her?
I think.
I remember we were sitting in the front room. I can visualize where we were. I did not know the number. Yeah, earlier in this season, I did go right into all the details, so I won't do that again. But basically, instead of giving me $250 just for me to rock up at the shoot, now you give me that. Well, I made it $200 now, but you give me the money up front, and then I'll take it off your order. So it's entirely print credit.
And you've raised your prices to...
But I've raised my prices to incorporate it.
Yeah.
It's really helped with actually getting people to book, I think, because it removes that risk.
Next one for me was creating my own automation flow. So I did take some time to really dive into the nitty-gritty of my whole client experience and my workflow and my systems, and just make sure that everything was really systematized and make sure that my clients are kept up to date at every stage of it. That's really important to me. The feedback has always been that my clients really appreciate how informed they are at every stage, and a large part of that is automation.
That reminded me when you said that you love keeping your clients up to date. I felt like with my payment plan clients that I was always falling behind, because before my payment plans were going through a direct debit system. Now I've changed to, which I think we've spoken about on the podcast, have we?
PayRight?
Yeah.
Oh, PayRight.
So basically
we did a whole episode about payment plans.
Oh, great.
In season 1.
Go back to season 1. If you're not a member, you can actually get the first 2 weeks for free. So do that, have a listen. It's made a massive difference in my business.
So good.
Not just because they're a finance company, so I get paid straight away, but the whole thing that I like about it is that because I get paid straight away, I order their shit straight away, and I deliver it straight away.
Yeah.
I don't have
Clients
to worry.
don't have to wait now.
They don't have to
Clients
wait.
love it. When you turn around and be like, you get it straight away and the rest of your payments are through PayRight, fantastic.
Yeah.
And so PayRight's an Australian company, but there will be equivalents in America. You definitely, it's not, PayRight themselves are not special or anything.
It's just a finance company,
Just a
but
finance company.
I just love, I love that the clients love it, but mostly I love that I love it, because basically now in my mind, I'm done with that client.
Okay, so my final one that I changed in 2018 was basically trying to minimize my travel time, because travel time is just a waste of my time. I'm not getting paid for that. So I was really sick of traveling all around. I had already done that slightly, so I've minimized my locations to like 10 or 15 locations. I've minimized that again. So now almost all of my sessions take place in Lily Gardens, which is about a 5-minute drive for me, unless they specifically request a beach or something like that. And I love doing the majority of my sessions in one place. I know that garden's inside out.
Yeah.
I know where it looks good at any given point of the day, and it means I can really focus on the dog rather than focusing on the locations. I always thought when I first started that it was important that you like traveled to the dog and the client got to pick their location and all of that sort of thing. Absolutely not.
No.
I've had no backlash from saying this is where we shoot.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a
pretty
big
much-
change
yeah.
for me, and I love it.
My final one, staff. I was
Yep.
going to say, setting up systems in the business so that it can operate without us. And one of the things I wanted to do was have a photographer, so while I'm away, the business can still generate income. So I tried that last year, putting on another photographer, and it was quite a challenge. But I'm actually considering it again. So I learned a lot, which I've been, I guess, working on this year. Like, okay. And then also I've got a girl who works in my office, doing admin, packaging, social media, that sort of stuff. Anyway, so that's been an interesting learning curve for me. I'm just saying, like, consider, do you need to put on a staff member, or is there something else you can do to reduce your workload if that's the reason? So,
I think a combination of outsourcing and automation and
pretty
systems is a good way to balance workload.
yeah. I think packaging, definitely, I always want someone to do that, which is the same with you,
Yeah.
because I hate it.
It was driving me crazy doing my own packaging.
Yeah. Anyway, make your business work for you. This is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
And that's been 2018.
And the cheeky number 19, we learned how to podcast.
Yeah.
Watch us not having recording. No, we did not.
When she says we learn how to podcast, what she means is Caitlin learned how to podcast, and I just rock up and talk sometimes. Caitlin does everything, by the way, guys. So give her a shout out. I just do some social stuff when I remember. So yeah,
Thanks for listening, guys.
Thanks for joining
watching.
us.
Hope you've had an awesome 2018. I hope you've enjoyed coming along on the Pet Photographers Club journey with us. We will be back for season 3 in January, so stay tuned. We have some really awesome guests and topics lined up for that, so we're really, really excited.
let us know in the comments if you're on our Facebook group, if you're a member, or even leave us a review in iTunes or whatever. Let us know what you've implemented this year and what changes you've made based on the podcast, but just in general anyway. We'd love to know if it's what's having an impact on you and what you've done. So let us know and leave us some reviews.
Yeah, review would be lovely.
Yeah.
Awesome. Have a fantastic end of your year. We hope you have an awesome one and a fantastic, I'll just use the word awesome and fantastic repeatedly over and over again.
Okay.
Have a really great 2019 too. We'll see you then, guys.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.